The King Without a Throne. The King Without a Throne. Once upon a time in China lived a wise man called Confucius. He was so wise that even today people still study the ideas he came up with more than 2,000 years ago. Before Confucius was born, his mother kept on praying for a baby boy as she already had 9 girls. One night, she had a dream. 5 figures were coming towards her, followed by a creature with a horn on its head like a unicorn. At the time, people believed that whenever this creature was spotted, a special person would be born or would be close to dying. "My lady," one of the figures said in the dream, "you will have a son who is special. He will be a king. However, he will become a king without a throne." In her dream, Confucius' mother found herself tying a ribbon around the unicorn's horn. Then she woke up. True enough, a baby boy was born, which made both his parents happy. But when Confucius was only 3 years old, his father died. His family became very poor and his mother struggled to feed all the children. Confucius missed his father very much. That was why his mother taught him to remember his father by putting food in special bowls and praying to him every day. While the other children were playing, Confucius would spend hours and hours carefully laying out his bowls and plates. At the time, there were no schools and hardly any books, so children would learn things from listening to songs and poems. As Confucius loved learning, he memorized everything his mother taught him and asked everyone to teach him all they knew. People soon found out that he was very clever and knew a lot. Confucius started teaching to earn money. He was such a good teacher that more and more students wanted to learn from him. Confucius spent the whole day studying and teaching, telling stories of old kings and the great things they had done. His students wrote all he taught onto bamboo strips, which were then made into books. Confucius said, "We should respect our parents, our grandparents, and all those who came before us. What we have today, we owe to them." For example, someone discovered fire a long time ago. People then used fire to cook, make pots, and bend metal so they would make better tools. They used these tools to build houses. Could you imagine what life would be like without that first person who discovered life? Who discovered fire? When Confucius was about 50 years old, he found a job in the government. Now he could finally try out his ideas and teachings in real life. He told people to know their place and follow the rules. Children had to listen to their parents. Parents had to be good to their children and not tell them any lies. Everyone had to listen to the king, but the king should also treat the people. Confucius said, "Always do the right thing. Treat others as you would like others to treat you." Soon it was safer in the streets. People were happier and life was better for everyone. At the time, China was not one big country as it is today, but it was split into kingdoms. Confucius' kingdom was doing very well, but the king of another kingdom got jealous and came up with a mean plan. He sent beautiful horses and dancing girls to Confucius' king, hoping that he would enjoy these instead of ruling the kingdom. Sadly, Confucius' king did exactly as the mean king had hoped. He spent 3 whole days riding the horses and enjoying the performances. Confucius was so angry with his king that he decided to leave the kingdom. A group of students followed him. Confucius and his students traveled from kingdom to kingdom for many years, giving advice to kings about ruling their kingdoms. Sometimes the kings listened to his wise words, but they never asked him to work for them. Without any work, Confucius and his followers had very little to eat and often had to sleep in the open air. One day, Confucius met some hunters who had found a strange-looking creature. When Confucius saw the creature, he burst out crying. It was a unicorn with a frayed piece of ribbon tied to its horn. "My time has come," he sobbed. Confucius wasn't sad that the end of his life was near. Instead, he was disappointed with himself. He thought he had failed to make China a better place with his ideas. How wrong he was! Not long after his death, kings and emperors started using his ideas to rule their people. Special temples were built all over Asia to honor him. Today, Confucius is known as one of the greatest teachers in the history of China. In the end, his mother's dream had come true. Confucius had become as wise and important as a king, but he had become a king without a throne. The end. The King Without a Throne.